Okay, let's continue example 1, part B. So notice we have the same universal set and we have the same 3 sets A and B, right? Specifically, these are subsets. So we know A is a subset of the universal set, B is a subset of the universal set, and C is a subset of the universal set. Now again, with the notation, again, just to reinforce this concept, right? We know A is not equal to U, right? It's not equal to U. I mean, we can see it's not equal to U. It's only the first 5 natural numbers. So U is obviously larger than A. So that's why I'm not writing that equality sign. However, if you wanted to write this, or this, or this, that's completely fine. I mean, to be safe, if you want, you can always write the subset with a little hyphen, right? Because that means A is either smaller, right, is contained in U, or A is equal to U. So simply what I'm trying to get at is that A, B, and C are proper subsets, right? Whoops, A, B, and C are proper subsets, right? Because we know A is not equal to U because it's not, or B is not equal to U, and C is not equal to U. Okay, so that was hopefully a good connection to 2.2. So now let's compute these set operations with 3 subsets. So part B, right? Well, it's already written up here, but part B. So I want to find so the union of A and B, then I want to find the union of A and C, and then I want to find the intersection of those 2 sets. So my goal is to find out what elements are contained within that set. So again, let's just maybe write some steps down if that helps. So A union B, that's going to be my step 1 to find that. Step 2 is going to be A union C. And step 3, let's see, I did purple last time. So finding the intersection, right, what's in common, is going to be step 3. Okay, so step 1, let me move this up. Okay, so what is the union of A and B? So A union B. Okay, so again, what does this mean? Well, let's just write out the definition of what the union of 2 sets are. Well, we know just by definition, in set builder notation, it's all the elements such that, okay, conditions are going to happen here, restrictions, constraints, whatever you want to call them, such that these elements have to belong to set A, or they have to belong to set B. Okay, again, just by writing that definition on your test, that's it gives you some points, because at least you are telling me that you understand what the union of 2 sets is. Okay, so now let's actually translate this guy, right? This specific example. So we have all the elements in A. Okay, well, what are all the elements in A? Well, they're given to us, right? A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, or, right, or I can have elements in B. So what are my elements in B, right? Or it can be these guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and write those in. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. Okay, so hopefully you can see that these are elements in A or elements in B. But again, I mean, we don't need to repeat our numbers, right? There's 2 1s here, so I don't have to add that 1. There's a 2, so I don't have to add the 2, and then we don't have to repeat the 3. So what's left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Okay, so these elements are, this set contains elements in A, right? Any one of these are in A, or they're in B. Again, I encourage you to write out the set and then eliminate the repeating numbers. Again, it's just gonna give you partial credit, as opposed to just writing this step and you get it wrong. Well, if you're doing it in your head, I can't really, I mean, I can't read your mind, so I really can't give you that partial credit. Okay, step 1 is done. Step 2 is, let's go ahead and write that down and move this. Okay, so step 2 is A union C. So let me get my white. Okay, so A union C. Let's do the same thing. What is A, right? We already have our definition. Right, the only difference is, right, this is C now, and this is C. Well, again, might as well write it out. It doesn't hurt. Okay, so X is in A or X is in C. Okay. Well, all the elements, whoops, all the elements that are in, I'm trying to just see my sets here. All the elements that live in A, well, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or the elements that live in C. Well, what's C? C is 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, right? There's our C. And so again, there's our, right, these guys live in A, right? They live in A, and these guys live in C. And again, you don't have to write this part. I'm just trying to emphasize what this means. Okay, so again, we don't want repetition, so we don't need that extra 2, that extra 3, that extra 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Okay, so that is my set A union C. So maybe let's, okay, so A union C, right? So that's this guy right here. There's my A union C, and maybe let's box, there's my A union B, right? Because the last step is just the purple, right? Now we just want to find the intersection of those two. So purple, right? So now, right, we want to find the intersection. So what do these elements, what do they have in common? And you can probably just see what they have in common, that's fine. But again, let me just write my final set here. So I have A union B intersected with A union C. And again, that's my blue, that's my pink. So what do they have in common? Well, it looks like the sets are the same, which can happen. Let's see. Oh, I rewrote. There's a small error. I'm glad I caught it before. Well, I just this is fine, but if I wrote the problem correctly, this let me see, yellow, right? This, whoops, not there. This 8 should really be a 7. So set C is 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so if we correct that, this changes just the C part. So then that means this should be a 7, and there's no more, well, then we just have this as a 7. Okay, so that's the only change, and now we can compute our intersection, right? We have, what do they have in common? The red and blue sets, it looks like, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Because 8 and 7 are, they're not the same. So that's your final answer.